All right, back to it. How we doing? I'm doing good. Good. Another day of practice. Again, excited about a big game. Go to New Orleans, play a really good football team, and again, this is the second day in our process, so we'll keep going.
Do you sense that this is any kind of a big game for Greg Williams? It's a little personal?
Yeah, just me knowing Greg, every game's a big game for Greg, and it should be. But I don't think he is thinking of anything other than preparing a defense to play a really good offensive football team and compete that way. That's who Greg is. He loves to compete. We all do, and that's what we're going to try to do.
The last time he played Peyton, though, different time and place.
I heard about it. 49 points. You wanted to tell me that? Is that what it was?
Wide receiver option play with a 21-point lead.
Oh, I'm sure it's all coming. I mean.
Served to motivate Greg the other way. He's got a different defense now. He's got a hot defense.
I think he's motivated just because, honestly, Tony. I think, we need to continue to play better. Like I told our defense the other day, I was very excited with the 6 turnovers, but that was kind of some other things was very uncharacteristic of how we play. The rushing totals were high, and obviously they threw the ball for a lot of yards last week. So we got some things we got to shore up and get better at. Love the effort, but again, we got to do some things better.
How was Desmond handled? Last week everything was new, so how has he handled the structure of the film and getting back to practice this week, all that stuff?
Desmond, oh no, he's handled that part well. I think everything every week is going to be new for him. Now you're going into a dome against a different type of rusher, different other things now to be concerned about. Crowd noise, those type of things on turf. So this will be a different challenge for him. But I mean, he's in his process every day as the coaches, as we prepare him for Sunday. He's done a good job this week.
If you would be able to win down there against a team coming off a good year and an established franchise, what would obviously you want to win any game, but what's the value, the extra value of beating a competitor?
No, it'd be great. It'd be awesome. Obviously last week we let one slip away, and again, here's the next opponent. It's the National Football League. Every week it's going to be against somebody who's good. So, again, here's another opportunity for us to show that we're getting better in a lot of different areas. And the key to all of this, as I said before, is winning. We got a tie on our record right now. That is what it is, and we need to get to winning. I'll keep saying that, and that's what we're trying to do.
Different is the matchup this week for Denzel Ward going against a big guy like Michael Thomas. How equipped is he to handle a bigger, stronger guy?
Well, I think, again, we'll try to put him in the best position to handle that. You said it's going to be different. Antonio Brown was a smaller, faster, quicker guy. This guy's big and fast and strong, and has a big catch radius. So it's going to be a different challenge, for the defense, the defensive secondary in general. And I think we got to handle that. Then there's Ted Ginn on the other side who runs real fast, and Kamara coming out of the backfield, and sometimes they displace him. So we got to know where all these guys are because they can make plays.
Playing so well and getting the 2 interceptions, and obviously you figured that'd be good for his confidence and everything. Do you say, hey, let's let him follow the top receiver, or do you still say we're going to wait a little bit on that?
No, I still think we play our defense. There's times in games where we feel like he needs to match up, we will. But I think we still play our defense, and let's get him truly understanding how we play and what Greg's asking those guys to do. Obviously, he did a really good job last week. He's got to continue to grow every week. And just like for Desmond, for him, here comes a different challenge for him, as you guys are mentioning, with Michael Thomas and a quarterback who's deadly accurate, who knows how to get their offense up and running and going, and those players. So this is another challenge.
David Njoku drops a couple passes like he did last week. How hard is it for a quarterback to keep confident in the guy? I mean, doesn't he say, hey, I don't want this dude dropping it again? How does that work?
No, I think the quarterback goes and has a personal conversation with the player because he needs him. He's throwing it to you because you're open, or that's part of the progression. So you got to make those plays for him. So just me knowing Tyrod a little bit, he's a veteran player. I'm sure he had a conversation with David, and I'm sure David is excited about playing this week. He wants to put that game behind him, and let's go play in this one and see if he can be consistent in catching the ball.
Hue, as a head coach, when you're evaluating any rookie and deciding when they should play, whether it's Denzel or Desmond or Nick or Baker or anybody? Is there something you're looking for mentally or emotionally, or is it just, can they play, or are they ready? Is it any of a different evaluation than you do with a veteran?
No, oh no, yeah, definitely, because again, this is the environments are different, and what I mean by that, these are grown men, and I owe the locker room before you put a guy out there, you got to feel good that he can handle that, and to me, the locker room wants to win. They're not here for us to be testing players out and see if they're worthy to be playing. They want you to put the best guy out there that gives us the best opportunity to win. So I think that's first and foremost. And then as a coach, I mean, you're trying to determine, can a guy handle the pressure of 65, 70 plays? God forbid we played 93 last week on offense. Can a guy handle that, over a period of time without making critical errors that will really hurt the football team? And that's all that is thought through and talked through, and you try to put them in as many situations in practice and preseason as you can. And if guys can do it, great. And there's some that can and some that can't. They're just not ready yet, for that amount of plays in a game, having to do it right all the time. But hopefully, once they start to understand the environment, understand what you're asking of them, they grow to that level. And then they start to play and become pros.
Is your motivation to Miles this week to do it again?
Yes. Again and again and again. That's all I talk about with him. He was outstanding last week. 84 plays, didn't come out one play. And that to me said a lot to me.
I know you couldn't push him last year because he was hurt. But is he a guy that needs that motivation, that he needs that, hey, look, you have to impact the game from the time you walk on the field to the time you walk off of it? Does he need that?
I don't think he needs it. That's who he wants to be. I think that's who Myles Garrett is. When we drafted him, I knew that about him, that he wants to be one of the best to ever play. And that's just what his motivation is. He does it on the practice field every day, and we expect him to do it every week in the game. And I think now his teammates have seen it. They expect it too. That's the other part of the peer pressure from your teammates saying, hey, look, we need this from you to win this game. This is how you have to play for us. That goes a long ways.
Do you think that you could realistically keep playing virtually every snap, or do you want to scale?
No, I don't think you can play every snap. No, he probably wouldn't last too much longer if we did that. But yeah, I did. But we need him. There's times we need him, and he, as you saw last week, he can impact the game. So we need him. We need him to be as fresh as we can be, but also we need him out there, and I think he gets that. So I think there's a fine line on how that works for us. We'll be, mindful of what it's going to take to get him through, the 16 games, more so than just week in and week out.
I think Callaway was out there for one punt, and then he wasn't, and now he's listed not as the number one punt returner on your depth chart. What's going on there?
Well, I think the trust, again, young players, put them in situations, and there's no question Antonio's going to be returning punts before the year's out. And he might even return them in this game. But at the same time, I think Jabril Peppers has done a good job, and there's trust there, And again, Antonio's got to continue to gain that trust of us as coaches so that we can stick him back there. I mean, those are the plays that turn a game really fast. And he's been doing some good things. He's working his tail off back there. But obviously, Jabril has shown us that he knows how to do it and can do it consistently.
Did the success that Sam Darnold had this past weekend make you think in any way about anything different than the way you're doing it?
I like our quarterback. I like our young quarterback a lot, but it didn't change my mind in anything. Baker's been really good in practice. I've done for him what I said I would do, is get him some reps at the ends at times. I think he's still growing. The thing I love, he's so engaged in what we're doing. And I think, again, that's a fist pump to him, because I'm sure it's tough. I'm sure he wants to play. I mean, any competitor wants to. But at the same time, I think he's ready. He's preparing himself week in and week out on what it takes to play. And when his day comes, he's going to go out there and play well. I keep saying that. Don't know when it is, but whenever it does happen, he will play well.
I know yesterday we asked you about the Mayfield Breeze comparison, but then after we talked to Breeze, and he said that Mayfield can be better than he is. Is that eye-opening to you in any way?
I think all those guys, I think those guys respect each other. Obviously they were both born in Texas, so there's a little history there. I know they're not friends or anything like that, but I think Drew wants to see Baker do well, like we all do. And I think, like I said, I think when Baker plays, he'll start carving out his career for himself. I think Baker's have said it, since the day we've had him. He's going to have a great career here in Cleveland. Now, what that turns into, hopefully it turns into what Drew Brees has done, then we'll be able to talk about it. But until that happens, I don't think we can,
Two more. Hugh, do you have any sort of like philosophy about playing rookies, or in the end, you just have to do what your team needs? Like last year you played Deshaun, this year you're not playing Baker, but you're playing Desmond at left tackle, but if you didn't play Desmond, you'd have to play Austin. He's a rookie too.
Right.
Is it just about actually need most of the time?
Sometimes it's about need. Sometimes it's about, what's there, what you have on your team. And you have to pay the best players that you have available at that time. We're fortunate to have a veteran quarterback who's played in the National Football League, so we don't have to put our rookie quarterback in that situation right away. Let's let him learn and grow and know exactly how this thing works before we ever stick him out there. I think it helps him. Desmond Harrison is, like you said, it's a need, and he's the best guy, so I think it's a combination of both of the things you just mentioned as you make these decisions on what's best for the team.
You were asked, I know, about Nick Chubb on Monday, but what does he have to improve to get more carries? Maybe something that has really nothing to do with carrying the ball.
No, I just said it the other day. I just think it's the flow of the game. I think sometimes he's going to get 3 carries. Sometimes he may get 10. He may get 12. I don't know. Week in and week out, it's going to change. All depends on the flow of the game. I think I was excited we put him in there. Sometimes when you have guys like Hyde and Duke, young runners don't get that opportunity. So regardless, I know it wasn't a lot, but it was something, and I think he got a taste of playing in a real game. Obviously, he wants more, and he'll earn more as we go. But I think we have to let that thing unfold, over time. We're in game 1. Let's see what happens the last 15 games.
But it looked like he got maybe beat on that one time where Tyrod Taylor got sacked. So what's he doing on?
And he did, but nobody lost confidence in that. That's going to happen to young football players. I coached running backs myself before, and I've had a player miss a corner blitz, and first game, playing against a real good opponent, the anxiety of playing, sometimes it's tough. I think the game's going to continue to slow down for him, but we have to keep putting him out there because he's somebody we believe in, and we think he has a lot of talent.
When you go back, to go back to the quarterback again, when you talk about knowing when the right time is to play Mayfield, can Taylor's performance affect that thinking? I get to be blunt, can you live with 15 for 40 for a long time?
No, I wouldn't want to live with 15 for 40 for a long time because I don't think we'll be that again. I really don't, So I think that I understand the question. I think that's a non-issue. Again, first game, chalk it up to what it is. I believe Tyrod will play better. My thing about Baker, as I said to you guys before, I think when we do play him, we'll make a decision as an organization before we put him out there and do what's right. Because the most important thing is, I keep saying, he's our future. And if he is, we don't have to rush this thing. I think everybody, when everybody seen the numbers last week, everybody wanted to go, okay, Tyrod's out, let's go the other way. I don't think I think let's slow down a little bit here and let's get this thing going, week 1. Here we go to week 2. Let's see if we can improve on offense and play better. And let's let this other young man keep growing in the National Football League and understanding how to do it. He's growing every day, in my opinion, and I'm appreciative of his work ethic and what he's doing in the building. But I think we all have to just let's let it all play itself out at the right time and kind of go from there.